One request I get quite frequently is how I set up a trail camera, how I pick a location, what goes into all of that. So we're going to head into the spot where I get the bears rubbing on the trees. There's a little bit of a story to how I picked that location. Funny thing is, I didn't know it was a bear marking area when I first set the camera up. But one of the things that I liked about that area was that it was kind of a funnel area. It was where a pond outlet comes out. So it's a tight point where the wildlife would have to cross through there. And generally, it's a good spot for wildlife. That's why I picked it. But we're going to go in. I got Strider. We just got done an unsuccessful shed hunt, which happens. Someone beat me to that spot, and it's not a real big spot, so that's to be expected. Good for them. Hopefully they had some success. But hey, I'll see you at the bear spot. We'll get a camera set up. Walking into the bear location, and they cut this winter. What happens when they do that is it turns into a mud fest in the spring. And what does Strider love? Mud. Get ahead of there. But you sink right up into it. This stuff is very challenging to hike through. I'm going to have to come in a different way. Well, actually, I'm going to go out a different way, which I'll be using to go in as well. I'm not doing this again. It's a mess. And it's dangerous. Good way to wreck an ankle. We're coming into the bear spot, and Strider's on it, but there's a trail here. Right in here. And when I first came into this location, I actually came in from a different direction, which we're going to go out in. I'm not going through that mud again. I like it. Over there is the outlet of a pond. Got a bunch of alders, kind of narrows up. So that's what kind of drew me to this spot. I like outlets, and now I'm still on that game trail. This is probably moose and bear that I'm walking on now. Whew, I'm a little winded. That mud was thick. Plus, I've already gotten a good 8 miles in earlier. All right, so I first set up this spot, I want to say 2017. It was this log that I was drawn to. Right here, it had been rubbed where moose and other animals had dragged their feet. Still, you can see this little indentation right where Strider is. And I put a camera, I think, one of these trees. That one way back there, I think. Didn't really like the angle, but the spot just really drew me in. The pond's right there. So basically I was following that game trail, and I wanted to see if it came to a spot that got a lot of traffic. And so that's when I initially put a trail camera at this location. And it's been good. Here's the bear tree. You're coming right through here. Doesn't look like anything. Those logs. Fish always dig those up. And right here, you barely see it. Here's that bear trail. Can you see where these leaves are? They look like footprints. That's where the male bears stomp their feet, and then they'll dribble and mark this area up. And here's where they scratch. Let's see right here. I didn't notice this when I first set this camera up, was my friend Garrett that kind of said, hey, this is a bear marking spot. I just kind of got lucky, but it was a trail that runs through here, as you can see, right down that way. That's why I wanted to put a camera here, to see what was coming through here. I got lucky, ended up with a bear marking spot. The stump that they were marking on, I came in this winter, I snowshoed in here to see what was going on. I dug down in the snow. I actually cut it off with a saw, little hand saw. It was only about 12 inches at that point. I wanted it for my office. And but as often happens in winter, we kind of got lucky. Here's another sapling. The weight of the snow snapped it. So I think I'll get out my saw. This tree's dead. I'm gonna make a new post. Probably go about, I don't know, this high, and we'll see what happens. See if they start using that one instead. I bet you they will. So we'll give that a shot. Okay, so this is my basic setup. This is a backpack I keep all my trail camera stuff in. It's actually the one that's issued to the Maine wardens. You can get them at LL Bean. I don't know if they make the camo version anymore. Hey Strider, I don't need your help. Go. Good boy. But I love it. It's been absolutely perfect. Then I keep a notebook. I write down when I check my cameras, the card I use, how many videos, the battery level, the date, the time. I keep an Excel spreadsheet at home just because I'll forget what some of these are. Got a Write in the Rain pen, a strap. This is a security case. I call it a bear box. And Garrett turned me onto those because I was having a bear issue down in this spot. Imagine that. Then I've got a SD card case. Those are the ones that are used. Those are the ones I pulled earlier this morning. And these are fresh ones. And then I got all my keys for the different locks for the pythons that I use. And I label my locks. I don't know why, OCD. And then I got the trail camera. So this is the new Browning. So it's the Browning Recon Force Elite HP5. Tried to say that 3 times fast. But I love it. This is the third one I've got. Actually, it's a brand new one. I haven't even put it out yet. I just got it from trailcampro.com. Not endorsed by them, but I do highly recommend if you're going to buy a trail camera, you go through them. They're wonderful. They act an extra year of warranty on these cameras, which is key. And they've been wonderful to work with. And then I got my reading glasses. So that all kind of goes in there. I got my GP water. I got my GPS unit right here. Anyway, it's right there. So what do you think? Get this camera set up. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this set up with a strap. So this is just the base of the security box. Run my strap through it. These straps are super long. I don't know why I don't cut them down, but I probably should at some point. I never need that much strap, ever. And then it just blows in the wind after that. So what I'll do is I'll kind of get it adjusted to where I think. Let's try to just bump the... I got my walking stick, using it as a tripod. I got it stuck in the ground. So I usually just use my belly to hold that in place. Put the strap through. I'll get it where I kind of think I'm going to want it. So you know the camera's going to be, I want to get the bear rub trees, because there's 2 of them over there. And I'll bring the camera over. Might need to angle this down, so I might put a stick right in there. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up doing that. So kind of leave it a little bit loose for now. And then I get my camera. Goes right in like that. Now this sun's harsh right now. It's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's going to be hard for me to see the screen, but I'll put it in there, turn it on. That's basically dead center where I want it. But I am going to put a stick right in there, and that'll actually tighten this up a little bit. And then I'll snug it right down. So let me find a stick. I'll be right back. So before we finish setting up the camera, because I'm going to be turning it on and I don't want it to trigger too much while I'm still here, I did get this old sapling cut down that got snapped from the winter, from the ice and the snow. And as you can see, looking through this part of the forest, there's a lot of that happens where the small saplings get drowned out by the canopy of the bigger black spruce. And that's what these trees are. It's black spruce here in Maine. Perfect habitat for it. So I don't know if the bears are going to use this or not. I would assume they will, but you never know. One thing, it does have a very strong spruce smell to it, that sticky, sappy, piney, coniferous smell. It's very strong. So that may be why they rub on them. This is a pretty active scrape tree. In fact, I'm looking. Almost looks like, I don't know if you can see that or not, there's a little bit of blood from his nail. So I would assume they've started to hit these already. And then here's another one. So they're right side by side where they'll rub. Okay, so now what we want to do is I turn it on. And I've already got an SD card in it. This is what I'm using. I don't know if you can see that or not. Oh, sorry. It's a 128 gig SanDisk Ultra SD card. I've never had one of these fail. Knock on wood. Could happen. So I go into my, I'm not going to go through the menu system. This is plenty of YouTube videos on that. But one thing I definitely do is check my date and time and adjust it as necessary. Not that it's important, but it is to me. And then I format the card in the camera. Always. And it, again, I think that's part of the success I've had with not having card failure. So, shut it off. Now what I'll do is I'll turn it on. So it's ready to go. Angle set the way I like it. Close the cover. And then I put this over it. And then I grab my Python lock. And in here, it actually, there's a slot in the back of the camera. Flows right through. The one thing I don't like about these new cases is that you can't go around through the security box twice. I don't know why they did that. They did. The old, with the Advantage, you could. So I'll bring my cord around. Wrap it up around this. Goes right into the back of the Python lock. I snug it right down. And that camera is ready to go. So, pretty excited about this location this year. Feel blessed that Mother Nature snapped a tree for me that I can use again. I wasn't planning on it, but I was going to put a camera here just because of the two main rub trees, which is really the attraction. Although it really is fun to watch those bears rub and scratch on that post. So hopefully they start using it again. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll do some more behind the scenes stuff with different other locations. Strider's taking a nap. So we'll see what we get on this camera. Here's where it's facing. And before we go, I just wanted to show you the pond. So I showed you the wood side of this. Got to be careful because this is very boggy. Right here is the pond, and it's close. So this is a nice funnel area for wildlife. Not just bears, but as you've seen, I've gotten moose, fisher, bobcat, lynx, strider. Here you go. Go swimming. That's deep though, buddy. No, not that deep, but this is a nice remote pond. Doesn't support wild brook trout from what I understand, because it gets too warm in the summer. It's not deep enough. So, but it's thick in here, I'll tell you what. But I love hiking in here. I'm going to hike out through the woods. I'm not going through the mud again. But there's a pond. That's a setup of the bear camera. More to come. Yeah, I got to try to get out of here. This is the way I used to come in a few years ago, till I found a newer way in that was a little bit easier till they cut. But this is the outlet. Yeah, it's thick. This is a little tough spot to get through, but it's the only way to really get out of here. Whoa. Just went in up to my knees over my boots. Oh, awesome. Part of the game. I hope we can get too much water in these boots, because I need them tomorrow. Oh yeah, I got soaked. Right, so my boot right there. Hopefully too much water didn't get in. But that's okay.